In this video, we're going to talk about Google Search Console, which is another tool brought to you by our friends at Google. You might know Google Search Console under a different name. It was previously called Google Webmaster Tools until May of 2015. This is another free tool provided by Google where they give you lots of great information about how they view your website. My general suggestion is to log in and check your site once per month to check your performance and see if there are any new problems or opportunities that you need to think about. Bing also offers a Webmaster Tools. We're only going to talk about Google's today, but I definitely suggest you set up Bing's Webmaster Tools as well, and you can get many of the similar reports from Bing. It's also free, and with it, you can get Google's perception of your site and Bing's perception of your site to really find a lot of different problems and opportunities. Alright, so let's talk about Google Search Console. When you log in, you'll see a list of domains, and then when you click on your domain, you'll be taken to your site's dashboard, which looks like this screenshot. On your dashboard, you'll get a recap of the things Google thinks are the most important. The big one to look at are what messages there are under New and Important. Ideally, you want to see what we have on this screenshot that says No New Messages or Recent Critical Issues. That means Google hasn't found anything bad. We want that. At times, though, you're going to see a message here about a warning, an error, or an action Google has taken regarding your site. You want to pay attention to these. They tend to be leading indicators of issues that are going to affect your rankings, or possibly things that have already begun to affect your rankings. If you do have messages, you can click on Messages in the sidebar and then view the various issues Google has detected about your website. Going back to the dashboard, immediately below the New and Important area, the next area to look at is labeled Crawl Errors. These are the technical issues that Google is running into when they try to access your website. Normally, you'll see green check marks for DNS, server connectivity, and robots.txt fetch. We'll talk about what each of those areas mean in another video, but for now, what you need to know is that if any of those are not a green check mark, you need to call your developer and ask them why Google cannot crawl your site. Because if Google cannot crawl your site, then Google cannot index your pages. And if Google cannot index your pages, then your website will not appear in search rankings. And if your website does not appear in search rankings, then people will not find your website when Googling related terms. And if people can't find your website, you won't get traffic. And if you don't get traffic, guess what? You don't get customers. Now, the next box is Search Analytics. And if you click on the word Search Analytics, you'll be taken to a Search Analytics report that shows you all the words your website is ranking for in Google. These are the actual words people are searching on Google that led them to your website. You can see on here the number of impressions and the number of clicks. Impressions is the number of times your site showed up, and the number of clicks is the number of people who actually clicked on a search result and arrived on your website. Now, that's really helpful to know what words are working for you and bringing people into your site. Even more helpful, though, is knowing what pages brought people into your site from Google. So if you click on the Pages radio button in the gray bar, you'll be taken to a list of all the pages that you ranked for in Google. Here, too, you can see the amount of impressions and the amount of clicks. If you click on a page URL from that list, you'll be able to get a list of the words and phrases related to that page. With this report, you'll know what words this specific page on your site is ranking for, and when you look at the impressions versus clicks, you can see what words are working the best to get people to your site. What you're looking for on these reports are the words and pages that have lots of impressions, but not so many clicks. These are the pages or words where you want to focus on improving your website's content. You want to rework your content to draw more clicks from Google, especially where you already have lots of impressions. Lots of impressions means lots of interest, and you need to capture more of that interest by getting people to really click on your website. How do you do that? Well, one great way is that you can make your title tags and meta tags more relevant by including the words found in those reports. We'll talk more about title and meta tags in a different video. The other thing you can do is work the words more into the content itself. So that way your content speaks more to the words and phrases people are using to search out this page. Ultimately, adjusting the content to increase the amount of clicks on a page where you already have a number of impressions becomes your SEO to-do list for the month. Now, there are a lot of other reports available in Google Search Console, but on a monthly basis, along with checking for messages and warnings, looking at crawl errors, and reviewing search analytics, the one other major thing you want to look at is the index status. In the sidebar, click on Google Index, then Index Status. The graph shows you the number of pages Google has indexed from your website. Let's say you add one new blog post every day to your site. In that case, you should see this graph trending upward. If you've recently removed a few pages, then you might see this graph trending down. Now, if you see it trending down a little, like in this screenshot, maybe not such a big deal. But if you haven't made any changes to explain that decrease, or if that trend continues for a while, then that might mean trouble, and that would be something you'd want to ask your developer about to check and see if there are any crawl issues that may be preventing Google from accessing and indexing your content. If there aren't any technical issues that explain the decrease in pages indexed, you'll also want to look at any content issues, like Google flagging certain pages as spam or duplicate content, and once flagged, removing those pages from their search rankings. In our next video, we're going to shift gears and introduce you to a tool called SEMrush that lets you explore more aspects of your online marketing performance.